The CoMission of Business Agility TuneUp is to enable human capital development through enterprise scale generative competency development. So we actually do tune-ups. We are co-pilots. We are facilitators. We facilitate individuals. We facilitate teams, organizations, as well as products, and help them figure out better ways of working.
To build these generative capabilities in organizations is not simply a technology adaptation, process improvement, or a training or upskilling. It's much more beyond. It's a transformative effort.
I really didn't dream of becoming an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur into education, an entrepreneur into consulting, transformation consulting and coaching, I really didn't dream about that. But certain developments, certain behaviors, certain experiences that I had when I was small and during the early stages of my career really helped me transition into becoming an entrepreneur. So if I go into a little bit more detail about my life, I came from a very traditional background, but hard work and perseverance was actually something that was instilled in me from my childhood. Was really good in studies. That really ended up me doing certain sessions for my colleagues, for my peers and all during my childhood as well as during my uni life. Slowly that became a passion. Helping others, teaching others, guiding others and helping them solve problems really ended up becoming a passion. And all these, experiences ended up me becoming an entrepreneur.
Honestly speaking, becoming an entrepreneur was not my childhood dream because simply for the fact the concept or the thought about entrepreneur was not very prominent in my early years. I think somewhere even the society had influence on this because the society had ingrained a singular path to success. Like you go to a good school, get high marks, do a degree, job, get married, and then quit, especially if you're a woman, right? That was kind of the path that was set and influenced by the society. However, whilst that's the case, my upbringing at my home was different, which I'm really fortunate. I remember that my parents didn't want to put into a frame like this is the success look like and this is the one path to success. And especially I remember when I was chatting with my mother about who do I become and what can I do, she said that you can be anyone. She said, I still vividly recall that she said, you can be a celebrity if you want, a journalist or an archaeologist. So I think even the entrepreneur was not in my radar in my early years. My parents' support and especially my mother allowing me that my space to make choices on what really matters and chart my own course definitely left a lasting impact on that.
Initially, when I started this journey as an entrepreneur, it was more into competency development, training. Organizations reached out to me saying, "Hey Rumesh, can you come and do some training session for our staff?" As time went by, the organizations also realized that it's not just a mere training that they're looking for, it's much a bigger intervention that they're looking for. Slowly, the competency development sessions slowly transitioned into a sort of a consultancy engagement, sort of a coaching engagement. If I talk about these consultancy engagements into business agility, so agile is a word that is misused a lot, misunderstood a lot. People think agile is only for IT people. But slowly organizations also realized agility is actually for everyone. Even the strategic level needs to be agile. Strategy agility needs to be there. Operational agility, tactical agility also needs to be there. Slowly, the competency development engagements moved into non-IT sectors as well, non-IT functions as well. And it slowly crept into being certain coaching engagements as well. So like I said earlier as well, the journey into entrepreneurship and the journey into transformation consultancy took its natural turn in a way.
strongly believe my engineering experience and public speaking and coaching really shaped me to influence that to form this company. Starting with engineering, when I was an engineer at my early days of my engineering career, I thought my prime focus is to code and be at excellent in coding. But however, as my experience evolved, I think, especially with the exposure to a massive agile transformation in one of the organizations that I worked, my perspective evolved. It's not about being excellent on coding. Yes, it's important, but it's not about that. But it's about engineering experiences, coming up with innovative solutions for complex problems of users. So, this new ways of working, new thinking really pushed me to challenge myself and even build a curiosity how people really collaborate to solve complex problems. Say it, a rowing crew, right? Let's take a rowing team. Now, how do they really synchronize themselves to a common direction? How they speed so seamlessly? So it really built a curiosity in my mind how these organizations move away from siloed ways of working and collaborate with collective intelligence and how they deliver value. But however, this is a big change in terms of my own thinking and my ways of working also. So this is where public speaking experience, especially with Toastmasters, came really handy for me to embrace this change. If you look at the Toastmasters, it gave such a platform for me to connect and confront and conquer my own fears and thrive from the uncertainty. For example, whether it's an impromptu table topic speech or an evaluation or diverse roles that I played in the Toastmasters gave me opportunity to face the uncertainty and embrace the change and take every opportunity as a learning and celebrate with feedback. In Agile, we talk about continuous feedback. Some afraid of feedback, some resist feedback. But in my Toastmasters career, I learned feedback is a gift. I grew through feedback. So I had a chance to really live the agility through the public speaking journey. And then transitioning from engineering to coaching was like my breakthrough point, which I believe. There I really witness the unmatched power of human potential and how can coaching help the individuals, the teams and organizations really unlock this agility in them and achieve excellence. So I think combining all these experiences and events really helped us to form this company with a stronger purpose. The purpose is to tune the human capital for agility, or in other words, tune the human capital for value and growth. Because there is a misunderstanding that we need to create agility in people, we have to train them on agility. But we strongly believe that agility is very much in human beings, is a part of the DNA of the human beings, because that's how we evolved from Stone Age to the digital age, right? Because there is an innate ability to adapt. So it's not about training on creating it, but it's about unlocking your agility, because your agile leader could be covered through the mental debris or complex organizational structures or hierarchies. So it's just about tuning the human capital for agility, and that became our purpose as well. I always believed in the strength of synergy and collaboration. And Rumesh and I have been working together for longer period, even before this merge. But yes, we waited for the right time to merge. Right time in the sense that we are aware and we have deeper clarity on who we are, what's our purpose, and what we can uniquely offer to the industry with a compelling vision. That was the right time for us. So if I talk about what's the impact that we are going to create and the gap, it's a gap plus it's a need for organizations. a higher need for organizations. If I give you an example, industries, not only IT, industries across the board nowadays face an exponential change. All the industries are moving so fast, and these organizations naturally become part of the marathon. But the challenge is, when they are moving so fast, there could be a tendency they miss the sight of what's happening in them and around them because they're moving so fast. So it's very important to build this consciousness, right, to embrace the change. And when we're talking about this embracing the change, the organizations need to have more a generative approach rather than this traditional, structured, rigid approach to organizations. If I give an example, now when you are moving fast, you need to build this consciousness, what's happening you and what's happening around, and keep questioning constantly, thinking and questioning and challenging how we can work better, how our teams can work better, and how our organizations can work better. Because what works maybe last year or 2 years ago may not work next 2 years because they're moving so fast. So to build these generative capabilities in organizations is not simply a technology adaptation, process improvement, or a training or upskilling. It's much more beyond. It's a transformative effort. This is where our vision comes, right? Where we want to integrate the agility, this generativeness into the DNA of organizations and build a whole ecosystem of generative capabilities. So, give you an example. Training someone is like you train a bee how to suck nectar from the flower. Whereas transformation, coaching and consulting for a transformation is like how these bees, the busy bees, come together, swarm to make this fascinating beehive and generate honey through a seemingly adaptive biological process. That's a massive transformation. So training is not just enough. So that's where our vision coming, and that's the gap that we want to really bring in, like to have these generative capabilities to the organizations.
In terms of challenges that we see, it's really hard to take that message out to organizations that it's more than a training intervention that we need to do. The message about the transformation, the real transformational journey that organizations need to take, that individuals need to take, as well as the need for coaching interventions is really hard. And with all the economic situations and everything that's going on, organizations are more prone towards moving into a short-term intervention, a training intervention. Organizations also do understand the need for a longer-term intervention. So that's where the challenge lies, and that's where the interest is also in. So that's the message again that we want to take out. So the CoMission of Business Agility Tune-Up, or BAT, is to enable human capital development through enterprise scale generative competency development. If I go into a little bit more detail about this, so we actually do tune-ups. We are co-pilots. We are facilitators. We facilitate individuals. We facilitate teams, organizations, as well as products, and help them figure out better ways of working. If I talk about individuals and the type of services that we offer for individuals or any other entity, individuals, teams, organizations, as well as products, go through a birth, a growth, maturity, and then if you don't take care of it, it will decline. We actually intervene, we as Business Agility Tune-Up, we intervene at all these levels. For example, if you take a individual who's early in their career, maybe still out of uni, we help them understand their career path and what they need to do now, where they are at now, and how can they actually move to that place that they want to be. Similarly, for teams and organizations, we provide many transformation consultancy services, tune-ups, to actually help them figure out better ways of working.
As I shared, our long-term vision is organizations with generative capabilities so they can sense, respond, and adapt to exponential change. Now, that could be achieved only through a cultural alignment, human capital development, as well as digital enablement. Of course, this is a very long journey that organizations choose to make for themselves. But to support that, in next 3 years, we have primarily focused on 3 areas, that is building awareness about this generative leadership, generative organizations and agility, and develop team and technology capabilities, as well as, very importantly, sharpening the leadership skills. Thinking about these 3 areas, we have come up with tailor-made, more personalized tune-ups. As the name implies, business agility tune-up. So we have more personalized tune-ups, starting with team agility tune-ups, solutions tune-ups, enterprise tune-ups, and leadership tune-ups for various industries, so they can start transformatively develop their generative capabilities. So that's what we are planning.
We focus on generative business agility tune-ups. So we provide services related to individual tune-ups, leadership tune-ups, team tune-ups, as well as organizational level tune-ups. And we provide these services using a homegrown model or a framework, which we call the DAWN. DAWN stands for Discover, Align, Wire, and Navigate. So we take all these entities, individuals, teams, organizations, as well as products through this journey. In terms of what we are planning to do in the immediate future, I'm really happy to say that we've opened our entity even in Canada. The immediate plan is actually take our services, take our message to Canada as well as the audience here in Sri Lanka. How we do that? So the immediate plans that we have made are to do with competency development. We provide certain services, training services related to professional certifications from Scrum Alliance, IIBA, PMI, Scaled Agile, IC Agile, and many other professional bodies. Similarly, another focus is actually on corporates, corporate training, corporate competency development, human capital development. More than the training, we want to take the message out about the transformation consultancy work that we do. So we intervene, like I said, from the beginning. Throughout their entire journey, we handhold or we co-pilot their entire journey. So that's the message, that's the service that we want to really focus on in the upcoming year. In addition to that, we focus on community development as well. So as part of community development, we have certain flagship events that we have planned for the upcoming year. In 2022, we brought the regional Scrum Gathering to Sri Lanka, and we plan to do that once again in 2025, a 3-day event. Similarly, we are partnering with Colombo Leadership Academy to bring Agile Leadership Awards to Sri Lanka. Like this, there are many such plans that we have made for the upcoming year.